You're about to learn how to grow an audience online so you get more leads and customers and make more money. Welcome to ProfitCopilot.com, where you can profit from your passions. So today I'm going to show you how to grow an audience online. So this is so you can really reach your 1,000 true fans. So what's the 1,000 true fans theory? Well, it works like this. So imagine that you have 1,000 people who are paying $100 each every year to buy your products or your membership program, consume your content. That works out at exactly $100,000 a year. That's why it's important that we strive to get those 1,000 true fans, because that will create the kind of business that we want. So I'm going to show you the psychology of that today. And this works for blogs, email lists, works for YouTube, podcasts, however you're choosing to communicate with an audience. I'm going to show you how to tap in to the traffic that you're receiving and grow an audience out of that. So today I'm going to show you how to get inside the heads of your audience, of your traffic, how to build trust and rapport really quickly so people see you as the guy who gets them, who understands their needs and their hopes and their dreams. You'll also learn the difference between traffic and audience, because they're two separate things. So I'm going to show you the difference between both of those and why it matters. I'm also going to give you the 5 most powerful principles of persuasion. It's a simple sentence structure that's easy to remember, and that will change the way you communicate with practically everybody. So not just your audience online. So when you take this on board, it's going to help you to get more of what you want and less of what you don't want. So I'm also going to show you the 3 levels of thinking like your audience. I'm going to give you the exact map that you need to communicate more effectively and efficiently with your audience, so it increases that trust and that bond. And I'm going to give you the 4 vital questions that you need to answer to trigger that trust and bond really quickly and help you create that profoundly deep connection with your audience that will set you apart from your competition. So to help me illustrate things for you, let's head over to the digital whiteboard so I can walk you through it step by step. Okay, so let's figure out how to grow an audience online. So, like I said at the beginning, we have 2 different things here. We've got an audience and then we've got traffic. They're very different things. I'll explain what the difference is and why it's important. So everybody wants traffic, and they're right to want traffic because we need traffic to build an audience. So we convert the traffic or a portion of the traffic into an audience. So what's the difference really? So traffic is made up of random visitors. It's made up of bots and crawlers. So these are people who tend to hit your website once and then you never see them again. And also bots that crawl through your website, like Google will crawl your site to determine how to rank it best. So your audience is made up of repeat visitors, people who come back to your website time and time again, social media followers. They've expressed an explicit interest in you and your brand. Also, email subscribers, very important. This is one of the big columns of building an audience. And it's basically people who share and engage with you and your content. So that's the difference between traffic and audiences. So how do we convert traffic into an audience? I'm going to explain how to do that. So to do this, we need to get inside the heads of the people visiting your website. We need to speak to their hopes and their fears. We have to know what they want. And we have to make them feel like you get them, like you understand them better than anybody else. And this stuff, to do this, is impossible to fake. You'll hear so many of these unethical gurus and stuff promising you ways to build an audience really fast. But if you don't have this stuff, if you don't have the ability to get inside their heads, know what their hopes and fears are, and help them to feel like you out of everybody else understand them, you get them, You can't do it. You have to have this, and it's impossible to fake. There's no shortcut to building a loyal audience. You know, that 1,000 people, those 1,000 true fans that buy your stuff. This is how you do it. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a shortcut. This is actually one sentence that I want you to be aware of. You might have heard it before. So this is actually a sentence developed by Blair Warren, or Warren Blair. Get his name mixed up a little bit. But he put it perfectly. He said that people will do anything for those who encourage their dreams, justify their failures, allay their fears, confirm their suspicions, and help them to throw rocks at their enemies. I'm going to drill down into this in a bit more detail for you, but burn this into your memory. People will do anything for those who encourage their dreams, justify their failures, allay their fears, confirm their suspicions, and help them throw rocks at their enemies. This is probably the most important sentence in the entire history of marketing. Bold claim, but it's true. Let that burn into your memory. Write it down, pause this if you need to. This is going to change everything for you. So let's drill down into this a little bit more, because these are the 5 most powerful principles of persuasion. So there they are again. So encourage people's dreams. Think about what people want, what they really strive for. Think about their failures, what caused them to fail. Remove blame for those failures. Tell them it's not their fault. Allay their fears. What are they afraid of? What do they want to avoid? Promise them, show them how to avoid falling into that trap or succumbing to those fears. Confirm their suspicions, because everybody wants to be proven right. So prove them right. Let them know that, you know, everybody has got like a little bit of a conspiracy theorist inside them in certain situations. So you find out what that little conspiracy is inside your niche, and you use that to help people feel justified, feel right, that they are right to be suspicious about certain things. In the internet marketing world, you'll know that I am quite outspoken against the shiny object producers who promise these ridiculous amounts of wealth, and they profit from lying to people. So, you know, this is a suspicion that a lot of people have a lot of newbies who come into it are kind of suspicious about being lied to, about being taken advantage of, and rightly so. So you find out what it is about your industry or your niche that people are suspicious of, and then you attack it. You call it out. You know, it's important that we don't make stuff up. We actually do it for real. We're genuine about it, and then we help people to throw rocks at their enemies. So, in my case, it's the producers of these shiny objects that promise ridiculous claims that don't benefit anyone. The get-rich-quick assholes. That's who my enemies are, and I'm going to assume your enemies too, because, you know, you're on Profit Copilot. You know that stuff is junk and it doesn't work, and you've gone beyond that level. Of course, there's a whole industry devoted to selling to people who want that shiny object, who believe the hype. That's fine, right? Profit Copilot is the next step. It's for the people who realize that stuff is junk, it doesn't work, and the people selling it are charlatans. And Profit Copilot is for the people who want to go beyond that and get serious, get real about building a business, who want to stop dreaming about it. So that's how I use this statement in my stuff. And as you can see, it's true, it's genuine, not faking it. You can't fake it either. You have to be real with this stuff. So once you have got that burned into your mind, and we're going to delve deeper into that as well in this training session. So let's go in a little bit easy, okay? Because what we're talking about here is some fairly advanced psychology. So I'm trying to ease you into it in a very simple way. I know that I've simplified a fairly complicated process here. So next, I want you to realize what the 3 levels are that will help you to think like your audience. Again, you can't fake this, not suggesting that you would even attempt to. But so the things that they can say. So we've got, let me pull this down so you can see all of it. So we've got the things that they can say. I'll give you an example of each of these in a second as well. And then we've got the things they won't say. So your audience won't be willing to say certain things. And then there are things that your audience cannot say, the things they will never admit. Not out loud anyway, and maybe not even to themselves. So it's your job to know what each of these things are and then say it. You become the voice, their champion. So it's going to take balls on your part to do this, because you're going to say some things that are going to polarize your audience, and you absolutely want to do that. You want to polarize people, and in doing so, you're going to draw and attract the right kind of people to you, the people who believe the same things you do. And that's a really positive place to position yourself and build your business, because that way you have longevity in your marketplace, and you create this, it's eventually like this cult-like, I don't want to say cult-like following because that has kind of negative connotations, but you have loyalty. People respect you, they trust you, they feel like they know you when you tap into this. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay, so here's an example. The things that they can say. This is, let's say that your audience is full of bloggers or webmasters, and this is what they can say. So here's a quick example. They can say something like, I work so hard on my website, I want it to get the traffic it deserves. If you have a website, you probably feel like that. You probably say that to yourself on a regular basis. You do work so hard, you might not be getting the traffic levels that you want. And the things that you can't say or you won't say, let's move on to that, might be that it's disheartening watching other websites get better results with poor quality content. So you would never write a blog post saying that's how you feel, because, well, you don't want to reveal that to the world. You know that it's unprofessional for you to come out and say that you feel a little bit jealous of other webmasters. You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say, hey, good on them, give them a clap, well done, right? But deep down, you might feel really disheartened. And I know what it's like. I've been there too. I have started a website. I spent 3 years trying to get traffic to it. Nothing happening. And then once I figured out how to get the traffic levels, it took me 3 years to do it. And then eventually I figured it out. And then it became repeatable. So I know what it's like when you're working really hard, you're not getting the results that you want. You're not seeing the traffic levels that you want. And I never said that on my website. I couldn't say that. And you probably can't say it on yours either. So let's move on to the next one. This is what they can't say. They will never admit this publicly or privately. They might not even say this to themselves. So they can't say that they're afraid of what their family might think if they fail. So they might say, I'm afraid of what my family will think if I fail at this. Maybe you felt like that too. Maybe you're in that situation right now where you're trying this online business thing and you're just worried that what happens if you fail? Your friends, your family, you're worried that they're going to laugh at you behind your back or be disapproving or see you as a failure or as a joke, whatever, but you can't say that. You can't admit that. And you have to know what your audience are afraid to say and what they will never say. And you become the voice. You become their guy, the one who gets it, who understands them. I'm going to show you how to do that. I've got so much more stuff in this training session to help you to uncover this in your particular niche. So let's get on with it. We're going to use an empathy map. So let me show you what an empathy map looks like. So let me scroll down here. So we've got at least 4 sections. There's other types of empathy maps available, but I want to keep it really simple for the moment. So the first thing is we have to understand, or we have to figure out what our audience thinks and feels about your niche. We have to know what they see in your niche, what they say and do in your niche, and then we have to know what they're hearing in your niche. I'm going to drill down into each one of these in more detail in a second, so you can uncover this information for yourself and you can create a really detailed empathy map that's going to help you to absolutely get inside the head and the heart of your audience so you can communicate with them more effectively. So, 4 questions. I've made a mistake. We're not going to the 4 questions. Let me give you an example. So, if someone is buying a TV, and this is actually courtesy of another website, so it's the nngroup.com. So make sure I give credit where it's due. So this is an empathy map for someone who is choosing a TV. So they're called Jamie and they're saying things like, where should I start? What brand do you like? What size is best? And about a year ago, myself and my fiance bought a new TV, and this is exactly what was going on in our heads. So I want something reliable. These are the things that this avatar is saying, and they're thinking, what am I missing? I'm wasting too much time. What is the best option for me? Do people think I'm stupid? When they're asking questions about, which TV is best, that always crosses our minds, right? When we're buying anything or when we email someone to ask a question about a product we're considering, there's always this element of will they think I'm stupid? And in most cases, pretty much all cases, no one's stupid. I've never received a question from a potential customer that I've considered stupid. Never experienced it. There are no stupid questions. I don't know who said that, but it's true, right? So Jamie is thinking that they want something awesome, and it's also hard to make this kind of decision. So how does Jamie feel? Overwhelmed, excited, a little bit of fear in there, anxious, inadequate. This is a really common feeling amongst people. They feel inadequate. In most cases, they will never admit that, but if you can figure out what your audience feels inadequate about, let them know it's okay. Take away that fear, that feeling of inadequacy. They're also unsure who to trust. That goes for every niche, right? So you want to be the guy that they trust. And when you use this process that I'm walking you through, you'll become that. So when they encounter you, they'll realize, hey, this is the guy I can trust. So what does Jamie do? He checks websites, pros and cons lists. He compares products. He does more research. He asks friends. Observes TVs in stores. He makes small decisions and postpones the big decisions. We've all done that, right? We've all procrastinated. So this is an empathy map for someone buying a TV. Now you can apply this stuff to your own niche, but we're going to get really specific, because you can take this and try and make it fit, and you might have some success with that. But let's actually tailor this suit. Imagine that we're creating a tailored suit for your individual traffic, so you can convert that into an audience. So now we're on to the 4 questions that you need to answer. So I almost got there too soon. So with the empathy map in mind, this is what we ask ourselves about our audience. What do they think and feel? We're going to drill down into each of these even further, so you can get absolutely specific. You can build that tailored suit for your individual niche. What are they thinking? What are they seeing? What do they do? What do they say and do? So these are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. They correspond with the empathy map. So let's drill down into the first question. What do they think and feel? So what are they worried about? What are the things that concern your audience? What keeps them awake at night? Then what are their aspirations? What do they want to aspire to become? You've heard me talk about aspirational groups and disassociative groups in the past. Let me refresh your memory about these. So an aspirational group is a group that someone wants to belong to. So maybe if you're in the internet marketing niche or the entrepreneurial niche, maybe the aspirational group for you is the 2 Comma Club or the becoming a millionaire. Maybe that group is the aspirational group for you. The disassociative group, the group that you want to avoid and want to stay away from, or certainly away from joining that group, might be the group that you're already in. So you might be doing 9-to-5 work, or you might have a job, you might have a boss, and that could be the disassociative group that you want to avoid or get away from. So having this in mind will help you decide what group your audience wants to aspire to become like or join. And then let's move into the next question. Once you know that, you know what their aspirations are, what matters to them, what do they really care about? And then what is their current situation? So what is it that they're currently in at the moment and they need to move away from? So they might have that job. They might be overweight. They might be single. You decide what their current situation is for your particular audience. And write these down. Think about each of these questions and answer each one as best you can. Let's move on to the next one. So what are they hearing? This is really interesting. This is one of my favorite questions to think about. So what are they hearing other people say in their niche, their friends and family as well? What are people saying about their interest in this topic? What are they hearing from friends? What are they hearing from colleagues? What podcasts are they listening to? So here it's going to help you build up a profile of the auditory things that they're consuming. And when we pay attention to what people say to us, so what are their peers saying, or people in that niche saying about this topic? What are the common beliefs, the common warnings and the red flags that people, we've all got these mantras. In every niche, there's these common sayings and phrases. In internet marketing, it's the money is in the list, which is mostly true. The money is in the relationship you have with that list, but this process we're going through today is going to help you build that relationship with your list or your blog post readers, or however you're choosing to communicate. So Answer each one of these questions in as much detail as you can. And this is going to add to the profile that you're building about your audience. Let's move on to the next. What are they seeing? So, what do they see in the marketplace? What do they see other people doing? And what videos are they watching? What books and blogs are they reading? So, what do they see in the marketplace? I'm talking about products as well. What people do they see? Who's doing what in their marketplace, in your marketplace? What do they see others doing? So in internet marketing, they see lots of people building an email list, right? Because that's one of the sensible things. It's probably the most sensible thing that you can do. What videos are they watching? Have a look on YouTube for people in their niche. Who's saying what kind of content are they producing? What books and blogs are being read? So who are the top tier blogs in that niche? What are the best selling books in that niche as well? Now let's move on to say and do. So what do your audience say and do? So what are they saying online? What might they say in private? Remember, we've already covered this about what they can't say and what they won't say. And then what actions do we observe? What do we see people doing? What action? So also, what decisions do they need to make? This is really important. So you need to figure out the situation that they're in, which we've already covered. What decisions do they need to make in order to escape that situation? What do they need to do differently than what they're currently doing right now? Because you have to assume that whatever they're doing right now is not working. So they have to do something different, right? And then what does success look like to them? Once they've achieved success, how will they know what it looks like? How will they know they've achieved that success? So answer each of these in as much detail as you can. So what are they saying online? And this will help you figure out what they're frustrated about, what are people complaining about, what are people lacking, what do they enjoy. So have a look on Amazon.com, look through the books and the products, look through the review section, find out what people are frustrated about on there, what they want to see done differently, what they're enjoying. So that will give you an idea of what people are saying. Have a look on forums, Facebook groups, Twitter, wherever people are hanging out in your niche. Just observe, then based on that, what are they saying in private? Or what might they say? What do you assume they're saying? And listen, if you're in the right niche, you're in a niche that you once started out as a newbie in, and you are now at a position where you can teach others how to do some stuff, at least, right? So you will need to think back to how you felt, the things that you thought privately when you were beginning in that niche, and that is going to serve you really well. And that's how we can't fake this stuff, because it's based on our own experiences in that niche. So let's say I don't know, I see a lot of newbies wanting to sell internet marketing stuff, but they themselves have never built a business, they've never done any real marketing, but they want to teach other people how to do it. So that's like the blind leading the blind, right? So if you're in that situation, you're thinking along those terms, well, I'd encourage you to focus on something that you do have actual experience with and achieved decent results in, so you can teach other people. Because if you don't have that, people are going to see through it. Then, I see so many people in this thing launching YouTube channels, blogs, stuff, and they don't have any credentials, they don't have any credibility, they don't have any provenance to demonstrate that they know what they're talking about. And then they get frustrated because they don't have the audience that they need, they don't have the traffic levels, they don't make the money, they don't know how to convert people. you know. So if you're still struggling to find a niche, choose something that you have real hands-on experience with and got a certain level of results from. And I don't care what kind of results you've got, as long as there is a group of people who also want to achieve those results. So maybe your background is in golf, and that's your hobby. You're not a professional, but you know how to drive. Teach that. Teach something that you have got a passion and a healthy amount of experience in. So I kind of went off on a tangent there. Anyway, so to answer each of these questions, do think about what actions you observe people doing. We mentioned previously about building an email list. What do you list out? So in your niche, all the things that people do. So maybe, I don't know, maybe you're in the weight loss niche. So what are the typical things that everybody does when they try to lose weight? And then, because there's a probability that that's not going to work for them. So what do they need to do differently? So then you move on to the next question. Based on that, what decisions do we observe? Then we think about how they need to do things differently. What decisions do they need to make in order to get the results that they desire? And finally, what does success look like for them? How will they know when they've and be specific about this. Don't be vague. Give it as much detail as you possibly can. Really zero in and make it specific. 1-sentence statement. And they will know what success looks like when they have made X amount, or lost X amount of weight, or gone on 5 dates, or whatever it is that's relevant to your niche. So, answer these in as much detail as you can. And now you're going to have a really detailed profile and insight into your audience. You're going to know how to communicate with them really effectively and really efficiently. Okay, and if you want automated traffic, I'm going to help you to get that when you go to profitcopilot.com/traffic secrets and get that course. And if you found this useful, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And remember to subscribe, hit that little notification bell when you subscribe now, and that will notify you about tomorrow's video. So thank you for checking this out. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Take care.